What's up everyone, Socrates 101 here, and today we are going to be doing another team building video. This time it's not going to be one of the higher tiers, this time it's actually going to be one of the more lower tiers. This channel is basically going to be based mainly around 3 tiers, which is going to be the NU tier, which I'm going to cover today, the UU tier, and the OU tier. Mainly is going to be OU and UU, but I like to switch it up to NU as well, mainly because Gargleflop likes it here as well, and then he drags me into playing it too. But also it's kind of a nice change of pace, not using all these great Pokemon, but also using these somewhat, well, basically they never used Pokemon. Without any further ado, I'd like to actually just jump straight into the team building process. One of the things I wanted to use, as it's becoming more prominent, it's becoming more of a thing in OU right now, is Seismitoad, because there was this Mega Sceptile Seismitoad team that was running around a lot in OU recently, and basically I wanted to use Seismitoad, but then in its own, Seismitoad worked well in that particular team in OU, and I really wanted to use it in the tier where it actually belongs, which is NU. This is not a too janky set. I do think this is the standard spread with the 56 Spadef. I just straight off nicked this team from nicked this set off of Smogon. I don't know what the Spadef is for, but it obviously allows you to take special hits a bit better than you would normally do. It's a water absorb variant with the leftovers, nothing too special. With the Stealth Rocks, Scald, Earthquake, and Knockoff, it does have the minus speed nature with the plus defense. I didn't add the natures by accident to the actual layout, but I will make sure there are annotations on screen, or when I edit them, that there will be the natures of the Pokemon popping up on your screen. So that's that, and I fixed that. Hopefully I will fix that. So this is Seismitoad. Basically it's our Stealth Rocker, because this is going to be a very offensively based team, and what I said before in my UU analysis as well, every single time you build something that is fairly offensive, well, this is more of a balanced team but with hazard stock, so this allows our sweepers to do a lot better, because they are not the strongest sweepers, but they are very fast, and with the support of hazards, which are Stealth Rocks and Spikes, because I'm also carrying Spikes on this team, they are allowed to do a lot better. Next Pokemon is Claydol. Claydol, as I said, we have a hazard stacking team, which is fairly offensive as well, and that's why we run Rapid Spin. We run Rapid Spin because we want to not have hazards on our side of the field, but we want them obviously on their side of the field. So once more, we are running the leftovers. As coverage, I actually decided on Earth Power, Ice Beam, and Signal Beam, which might sound very weird, but Earth Power and Ice Beam is very nice coverage, and Signal Beam is there because this tier has a lot of Pokemon that have quad weakness to bug. For example, there is a Cacturne, there is an Executor, there is one more. I can't think of it at the top of my head right now, but obviously there's Malamar. So those are the 3 main ones in tier that you want to be looking out for, and that's why we run Signal Beam for that quad super effective damage. EV spread is quite regular as well. We do run 96 speed EVs. I really should check before I do recordings why I did that, but once you check the speed tiers, you will realize that 96 speed isn't really necessary, but it's a nice thing to have. Claydol is really bulky, so you can just leave it out somewhere. This was at speed to a common Pokemon that was a switch in for Claydol, and then you can just get a Rapid Spin off. This allows you to get off more spins, or basically outspeed certain Pokemon, because Claydol has a nice base 70 speed, so this allows you to outspeed like base 80 uninvested, I think. So that's definitely very nice on Claydol's end to have. So what we have now is our hazard setter and our hazard removal, which also has some offensive pressure with some nice ass coverage. Next Pokemon is going to be our second hazard setter, which is going to be Garbodor, which has the exact same spread as Claydol, only in the defensive part. This one has the Rocky Helmet because that's really good on Garbodor, especially combined with its ability being Aftermath. Rocky Helmet does 17% damage to the Pokemon, and if it dies from a contact move, it does an additional 25% extra with the Aftermath, which is a whole lot of damage. Apart from that, we have the Gunk Shot, because obviously there are a lot of Zatus running around in this tier predicting the spikes, and Gunk Shot, I do think 2-hit KOs. I'm not sure, but obviously you want to keep pressure on your opponent's side of the field. Drain Punch is there for some nice because for some nice coverage, because the only thing that poison attacks like Gunk Shot cannot hit are obviously steel types, and Drain Punch hits them. The Drain Punch, the fighting type move, allows it to hit it for super effective damage. Next off we have Spikes. Spikes, as I said, we want the hazard stacking team, and Toxic was basically toss up between Toxic, Spikes, and Toxic, but Garbodor being a poison type, it cannot miss Toxic, so that is really good. And it's obviously a nice thing to do. Once you go for Toxic Spikes and they switch into Zatu, well, that's going to matter, because then the Toxic Spike is going to be on your side of the field. Once it bounces back a Toxic, it doesn't matter because you're a poison type, so you cannot. So it's basically a non-risk move, while Toxic Spikes is actually quite risky. But if you are predicting the Zatu switch, then I just suggest clicking Gunk Shot or switching in one of your sweepers, mainly going to be Scyther, which we are going to see in a couple seconds. Then we have to actually go to our sweepers, because that's something very important in this tier. As you can see from now, we don't have anything that switches in on Typhlosion, which is actually suspect tested, but it wasn't suspect tested when I did build this team. So that's why I decided to go with Asulfas Hariyama with the Thick Fat, because Thick Fat allows you to take a lot less damage from the Eruption. And that's obviously really good, because we didn't have switch-ins for Typhlosion, and this thing it doesn't get 4-hit KO'd, so that's really good. We do have Adamant Nature on this 252, and for defense and like max special defense, this thing already has an insane HP stat. I think it's base 107. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this Pokemon in general is really good. We went with the priority set with the Fake Out and the Bullet Punch. You could go Heavy Slam if you are predicting fairies, but I don't think there are particularly a lot of fairies running around in this tier. It's basically going to be Mega Audino, and I don't think this team in general struggles with Mega Audino. I haven't even encountered it yet, because it's not good. It's straight up not good. Unless you're running an offensive spread, then you usually end up getting at least one kill. But obviously the rest is just coverage with the close combat, because it's the strongest stat move, and we do have the knockoff for knocking off items, which got everything that runs knockoff, everything that gets knockoff runs knockoff. You've heard it 1,000 times on this channel, and I'm going to say it 1,000 times more probably in the near future. Everything that gets it straight up runs it. Then we have our second sweeper, which is a bit of a setup sweeper, but also just to deal massive damage. Mesprit is pretty fast Pokemon. Its bulk is kind of iffy, but if you want to run a bulky spread, then you obviously have to go for the other. What kind of Pokemon is this? More of a genie thing. No, not a genie, but obviously you want to run Uxie then. But this one is definitely for offensive pressure. That's why we are running the Life Orb. The Levitate is always a ability that's really good. I mean, you can freely switch in on obvious ground moves. I don't think we have an awful lot of ground weaknesses apart from Garbodor, but I mean, you don't really want to switch this in. If there is a risk of it not going for Earthquake, then you're obviously going to switch in your Seismitoad. There's the Psyshock, because you want to hit things on a physical side as well. With the special attacking stat, there is the HP Fire. That's basically for Ferris Seeds. You don't want them to hazard stack, and that's usually a safe switch into Mesprit. It's just all in general a very nice coverage move to have. With the Calm Mind, if we predict a switch into something that we can't kill in one hit, or that can kill us in one special attack, then obviously we are going to go Calm Mind and do massive damage to that thing. Setting up with Mesprit is really good. and especially with its nice speed. I don't think a lot of it outspeeds the majority of the tier. I think it's like base 95 speed. Really should check these things before I start recording. Last move obviously is going to be energy ball, because there is our Seismitoads running around, and with the Psy Shock over Psychic we cannot really hit it that hard, but qua super effective damage, we are definitely going to one-shot that. The EV spread is really standard. It's going to be a timid set with the 252 speed, 252 special attack, and then the remaining 4, obviously you're going to put them in either defense or special defense, but that doesn't even matter. Last Pokemon, I believe, is going to be Scyther. Choice Scarf Technician Scyther is one of my favorite mons right now, because it also outspeeds Typhlosion. Often they switch it in on Scyther, predicting it being banded or something, because usually Scyther is banded or Eviolite. But I'm running a Choice Scarf set because I needed a Choice Scarfer and something that could keep momentum. And obviously that is Scyther. So that's why I'm running Choice Scarf on Scyther. It has Bug Bite, which also gets boosted by Technician. Aerial Ace gets boosted by Technician. U-Turn is there for priority, and Knockoff, because once more everything that gets Knockoff runs bloody Knockoff. It's very standard spread as well, but Scyther with its 105 base speed actually allows it to outspeed things like Scarf Typhlosion, other things that you usually would outspeed the majority of Scarfers in this tier anyway, like Scarf Sock, other Scarf fighting types. So Scarf Scyther is really amazing. I was thinking a lot about this slot for the tier, as that is actually my last Pokemon. Scarf Scyther is really amazing because it's unexpected, it keeps momentum, it's really good, and it has saved my ass a bunch of times in this game. I had a Cacturn on here with the priority Sucker Punch, with the Seed Bomb. I tried to focus our shot, I tried a Life Orb shot, I tried everything. I tried a lot of different Pokemons and nothing really fit. And then I put Scyther on it, and this like instantly rose to being my favorite NU team I have currently. So that's why that's actually basically the team. I will leave a paste bin down below. Once more, I did forget to add the natures, but I will make sure that I will edit them in somewhere. I do think that's basically going to happen, like right here somewhere. After the EV spread, or in between these things, because there's always a little gap in between them, which basically fits the nature right amazingly. So that's a team. One last look at it. We have physically defensive Seismitoad, which is there to take a lot of hits, to pressure the team with like Scalds. I mean, Scald Burns are always great. It's a nice EV spread because it allows you to take special hits a bit better. On this is basically our hazard setter. This is the thing that removes hazards, with also a very nice coverage and some speed investment to get off, to guarantee the rapid spin. Garbodor is our other hazard setter with spikes, with the toxic. Garbodor is basically the biggest nuisance there is, because it switches in on a lot of things, and they basically just take they take Rocky Helmet damage, and as soon as they kill it with a contact move, they take Rocky Helmet damage plus aftermath damage, which does a huge amount. Which allows other things like priority users like Hariyama, or our Scarf user like Scyther, to clean up. Hariyama basically there to check offensive fire types or offensive ice types. I don't think there are a lot of ice types there, even though I do think Glaceon would be doing very well in this tier right now. Mesprit, our sweeper, our Calm Mind sweeper, nice S coverage, able to hit things on a physical side and on a special side. The only thing we struggle with is Seismitoad, and then we just put Energy Ball on it and we Oko that straight away. I'm sorry for if I'm scratching my nose a lot, but it's very itchy right now. And the last Pokemon is basically our Revenge Killer, our Momentum Keeper, our late game sweeper. So if there is anything you'd like me to change on this team, leave it in the comments below, and I will make use of that, and I will try and apply it to my team if I like your suggestions. Even if I don't like your suggestions, I'm basically just going to try it out for a game, and then I'll tell you why it works, why it doesn't work. Another thing I really like is I got a comment on my latest team building video with a replay from Pokemon Showdown, where someone just completely stole my team. I mean, these teams are up for grabbing, and they used it. and they basically said, well, I used your team and I'm low on the ladder, but I did think I did well. Then I just watched the replay, gave a bit of advice, and that's things I really like. Things I really enjoy, things I'd really like people to do more often. Just grab this team, use it, tell me what you think, tell me what the weaknesses are, and if you can't figure out what you should change, I can always, I mean, 2 brains are always better than 1 in my opinion, and so we can make this team the best possible team we could make out of it together. So that was it for this video, and I will see you guys in the team building video. Peace.